Uni Krishna. Okay. Hey, so folks, my name is Paul. I am from.
Wait.
It's there, right? So we are live, right?
Is it?
Yeah, we are live. I can see it. Yeah. All right, folks. So my name is Paul. I am from the International Institute of Digital Marketing. So today we're going to have an AMA session, or like Ask Me Anything, right? I am one of the trainer for the International Institute of Digital Marketing. So we have Vivian. Vivian, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Right?
Sure. My name is Vivian. I'm the social media marketing manager of the company. And yeah, I'm mostly responsible for automation tools for the social media channels. And I'm also a trainer in our company. And then we have Andre here.
Hi, I'm the trainer here in International Institute of Digital Marketing. I'm also doing some paid advertisement, but my main responsibility is to train a lot of people.
Right. Cool. Okay. Well, I think we have some team members here, I believe, so South Africa and different places, and India as well, right? Kelly, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Right?
Sure. I'm Kelly. I'm from South Africa. I'm busy with a marketing master internship here at International Institute of Digital Marketing. It's about my second, almost third month. And yeah, I'm just here to ask a few questions so that I can, further my career in digital marketing.
Raymond, you want to go next? You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Raymond. I'm from Nigeria. Yeah. I am part of the team Ghana doing internship with the International Institute of Digital Marketing. It's my privilege to be here, and my target is to advance my career in digital marketing.
Great. Okay. Johara?
Hi, I'm part of Team South Africa, where I'm completing my internship with the International Institute of Digital Marketing. And it's almost complete, and I'm actually an architectural technologist looking to transition into marketing currently.
Great. Uni Krishna, you want to unmute yourself? Uni Krishna, yeah. We cannot hear you, Uni Krishna. No voice, we cannot hear you. No, we cannot hear you. Technical problems, eh? Yeah, Uni Krishna, we still cannot hear you. So I think we will we'll move forward here. So I want to kind of have some discussions around Uni Krishna, if you can speak, if you're able to speak, feel free to interrupt me, no problem, but I still cannot hear you, by the way, okay. So I want to kick off these conversations around about the latest and the greatest in the digital marketing world, how the world of work has changed, right? Because of COVID, right? And how many companies are looking for digital marketers, right? So this is exciting time, definitely an exciting time for digital marketers. Okay? How many of you know Clubhouse? Clubhouse, what is a Clubhouse? Yeah. There is nobody, right? Apparently this is the latest and the greatest. I'm not sure if anybody using Clubhouse in South Africa so far. No, okay. Nigeria, no, okay. Yeah, so Clubhouse is basically a voice activated chat, I believe, a voice activated chat where it's like a room, right? Where you can only do voiceover, not just, you can't just chat in the groups. You can only do voiceover. They have rooms. It's more like, podcast, but just in time podcast. You can just log in anywhere, from anywhere, and then just join any podcast and either be a contributor or you can be a listener as well. Very interesting. It's a lot of hype around Clubhouse. We really don't know how it's going to help overall, but there is a lot of hype around it. Right. So that's one of the latest, and a lot of digital marketers are actually getting onto Clubhouse and kind of pitching their ideas and things like that. So I kind of wanted to understand how, how is digital marketing, changing in the South Africa, mostly like an Africa region, like how it was before COVID, how it is right now. Want to hear some of your thoughts, people who are in South Africa, like how things have changed overall.
So I think I can start. As a trainer, I can say that I see a lot of interns, a lot of new people actually getting in onto this internship, onto training to get degree as a digital marketing. So I think it indicates that our digital marketing in Africa, South Africa, and Africa as a whole is growing a lot. So probably there is a demand, there is a big demand, and that's why a lot of people are trying to get on this internship and these trainings just to understand how it works and how to use it for their advantage in the future. So I feel like having this big amount of students from that region indicates that there is a lot of growing in there digitally, and that a lot of specialists in digital marketing are needed.
Can I add?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so with COVID, I noticed on Facebook, Instagram, a lot of businesses are taking business online. They now have been utilizing Shopify and other similar platforms. So there has been a lot of online marketing that I've noticed. There's been an increase in this last year, where a lot of companies are using ads to drive traffic towards their online stores. So that's what I noticed, in this past year with COVID, and I think that is a trend that will continue, because we're still not a lot of businesses have shut down, and I feel like this is going to continue for a long time because it's more feasible, instead of renting a premises and whatnot. It's a lot cheaper to just take your business online. So that's what's happening currently.
I've also noticed a lot of influencers that I follow, South African influencers, being used by companies that aren't necessarily, weren't equipped for the whole digital marketing world, as much as certain companies are. So they have been entering paid partnerships with a lot of influencers to sort of get their business, their marketing strategies for digital marketing through them. So you can sort of see a lot of businesses trying to, make a plan that usually weren't that much on social media that are really present now.
Right. So Raymond, I would like to hear what's happening in, you're from Nigeria, right? Is it?
Yes, from Nigeria.
I want to hear what is happening in Nigeria in terms of digital marketing, online marketing.
Yes. Actually, digital marketing seems to be the way to go. But before the COVID, it is there are a few institutes, organizations training people in digital marketing, but the quality of their training, from my own understanding, is low. Yet, in Lagos, it is only primarily in Lagos and Abuja, even as we speak. Lagos and Abuja, these are the two cities where companies are embracing digital marketing. But the rest of the cities, you hardly can see digital marketers, and the businesses there need it, but maybe either for ignorance or not being able to see the real people who would introduce it to them, they are still going the traditional way. But then this COVID experience exposed even the government of the day to see the need for digital economy, because within the time during the lockdown, the economy was shut down, and they began to see the need to carve a way where workers can work from their homes, but they do not have the training and the facility. So they are trying to wake up, and due to perhaps bad leadership, it hasn't been possible to put in place the right framework to groom people to embrace digital marketing on a wider scale. So there is great need here in Africa. Sure,
yeah. And I'll share some of my experiences here in the US as well. So, so a lot of government organizations are traditionally, you have to go in person, you have to go in person, stand in the line. They have a process. You have to fill in the form. You only have to fill in with the black pen, black ink, and things like that. So a lot of things have changed as well. So so these days there is online court, right? Like a speeding ticket. Like if somebody had a speeding ticket, you can actually attend the court online on Zoom, right? And so there will be a judge on Zoom. So the judge will say, it's like, hey, you got a speeding ticket. This is your offense, and this is what you have to pay. Unfortunately, I'm one of the attendee with the speeding ticket. And basically it's interesting because the government, the business, the government as a business, right? You still have to move forward. You have to still serve the community, right? And that's definitely one of the interesting. What has also happened is organizations or companies that have been doing online business, they have tripled their income, have been doing online business. Just imagine if you have a restaurant who relies on online catering orders, like online orders before COVID, right? As soon as the COVID hit, nothing really changed for that restaurant. They will still serve that customers, right? Because they already have this online presence in place already. And all other shops, all other restaurants are closed. This company is the one that's only open. So everybody will order from there. Right? So Domino's is a great example. Domino's, the pizza place. So they have this online tracker where people can order pizza online. I mean, they actually have increased their business. I've heard like 5 or 6 times more compared to other businesses, because other businesses have shut down, saying that we can't do business, because of COVID and restrictions, and they don't even have technology. Right? So I want to hear how things have changed, maybe in Canada. I know you're in Canada. Right?
Yeah. Especially here in Toronto, you see like a big change or a big difference when it comes to like small businesses and like bigger businesses. So bigger businesses tend to be online already, like they have their online presence. And instead of small businesses, they tend to shut down because they are not optimized for this situation. So there's definitely a huge difference what I noticed here, that actually small businesses actually have to shut down. Which is really sad, but they were not prepared for the time being, right? So this is what I noticed, especially like big businesses, they won't have any problems, like you just mentioned, Paul, like Domino's, for example. they don't see much change. They probably see more increase because they get more clients who were not visiting their stores beforehand, like the online stores or something like that. So yeah, this is like a huge has a huge impact, especially in a big country like Canada or a big city like Toronto. So this restaurants which were there for decades, they had to unfortunately close down because they cannot pay the rent, right? This is also like a huge thing in Toronto, like the rents are super high and people are not able to afford them anymore. So yes, digital marketing is definitely the way to go from now on, or from last year on already. So I think businesses will have a different approach when it comes to like starting off their business, right? So I think the main focus will be online everywhere in every single business. Even when it comes to like the health industry, right? I think there as well, they will have a different approach, or they will probably contact digital marketing analysts, right? Just to get their business going. So yes, this is definitely something which is sad in one way, right? But in the other way, online, I think the online world is the future. So yeah, that's what I noticed here in Canada, especially.
Can I also mention something?
Sure.
But it's within a different industry, the media industry. So I noticed that a lot of people are not actually listening to radio anymore here in South Africa. They prefer podcasts over radio, and they also prefer like catching up like on Showmax, and they also have like an online platform, and and most of them, they also like now like they subscribe to Netflix a bit more compared to previous years, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically that. So we're moving into that online space a lot more than before.
Great. That's a great input, by the way. So Kamikal, you're in more like a fashion industry, more like that. Is that what, like entertainment?
Yes, that's correct, Paul.
Oh, okay. A lot of influencers on TikTok these days, right? TikTok apparently is super popular, very, very popular, the things that you can do, right? Uni Krishna, can you still hear us? Or can you speak? Let's see your mic. No, we cannot hear you. I don't think your mic is. So there is a mic settings on the Zoom. So on the left-hand side, you can actually change the settings, the mic settings. Okay. All right. So let's move forward here. So so in terms of digital marketing as a career path, right? So what do you intend to do? Well, skills that you have acquired. Skills that you have. I can hear you, Uni Krishna. Can you hear me, Uni Krishna? No. All right.
It was there before, though.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So what do you intend to do with the acquired skill? So we did a lot of content marketing. We did, we're kind of getting into paid marketing and all that, right? So I'm kind of curious to know, what do you plan to do with the skills that you have? It's just an open question to everybody.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Well, through what I've already established.
Okay, so for me,
Go ahead. That's fine. Go ahead. Come on.
Oh, okay, so through what I already have established online, and as an individual creative, freelance creative, I'm seeing the need to build a much wider reach online, so that people can be a lot more aware of my brands and stuff that I do. So I'm seeing that through organic marketing, there's also like other platforms online that are also like able to like reach a lot of people, not just relying on the usual social platforms like Facebook. Although it's a big community, like we noticed that it's a huge community and it has a lot of functions that can actually like benefit anybody that's in business. So besides all of those factors, I'm seeing that there are like other platforms to use, and there's also like another way to like optimize everything that that a brand can push, just using like online platforms, as opposed to like way back when people like used to do field marketing. They used to like stand in the streets just to advertise their brands and stuff like that, not knowing that you can actually reach a wider target audience just using online platforms, just relying on them. Because right now there's like another brand that's originally from South Africa. Well, it's a streetwear brand. So they actually like right now they're so huge that they also like opened a store in New York, all the way from South Africa, by the way. So that just shows that from a small country as South Africa, like you can just build as much audience as anybody that's based in the US or like that's based in anywhere around the world. Like it's all the same, just using like digital marketing skills to actually like become, a huge person. I can name a few artists, by the way, that are like now huge in the US, all the way from South Africa, just relying on digital platforms. So it's really like an amazing skill to accomplish as someone that's in business or as someone that's looking to grow in the future, if that makes any sense.
Great, great. That's a great case study, actually. That's a very, very good. I really like the way that you kind of have done a lot of research and apply, whatever you learn, and you see the potential of content marketing, right? Great, right? So open to hear, more about, what other people plans are. Johara, you were saying something.
Yeah, no. So I would like to just dig deeper into video editing and getting more familiar with certain programs in video editing specifically, because yeah, I'm good at creating 2D, not 2D, but just normal images. But I think, yeah, video is something I want to get some more practice on. Also website design using Elementor, for example, that's an easy tool to kind of, create a website. And then possibly also just practice what I've learned during the internship. So paid marketing, for example, paid advertising. I've got someone in my family who's running a vegan business, online business. So I would like to test out some of the skills and see how much of sales I can gain, as a test. And of course, try and also get some experience with budgeting, because that's important as well. Yeah, so also analytics. Okay, there's so much to digital marketing, actually. So it's like there's so many things, but yeah, I think I really want to just get some practice, and I've got an opportunity where, yeah, family members running a business, and they've just started out. So that would be nice to see if I'm successful in getting more business and more customers.
Right, right. Kelly, I would like to hear your input as well.
Well, I'm similar to Johara. I'd really love to go into video editing more. The content, the graphics, I feel like I I'm enjoying a lot. So I think I would really like to go further into that. But also this is something that coincides with the question that I actually had is I'd like to find an industry that is new to digital marketing because of COVID that maybe needs help. For instance, something that I thought of was something like the medical industry that's now offering consultations online and something that's very new that would, used to go to the doctor if you needed the doctor. Now you'd rather have a Zoom meeting with your doctor. So yeah, I was wondering what industries need more digital marketing experts and need help with their digital marketing futures because of what recently happened. And then maybe try and target that industry.
That's a great question, by the way. So, in fact, I kind of wanted to turn the tables, and I say, okay, maybe it's time for you to ask me questions, right? It's not really. So I wanted to kind of kick off these conversations and kind of ask you. So that's a very, very good question, by the way. So I will try to answer that, and maybe Vivian or Andre can kind of chime in as well. Feel free. So in the digital marketing, because Johara, like Johara said, right? So there's so many things to learn, right? There is content marketing, there is, video editing, there is, I need to take care of my budget. I need to kind of keep my brand awareness and all that. Right? For a very, very small business, it's very, very easy to create a brand awareness in the digital market, in this digital marketing world, right? I have seen small companies create a very good online presence, very good brand out in the marketplace, and they have created like a reputation in the marketplace, right? For example, Callie, so doctors, right? So doctors, professional in the professional industry, lawyers and things like that, for them, having an online presence. So the first thing when I look for a doctor or an advocate or, or somebody in the professional industry, I search for their name, right, on Google, and I'll see the reputation, how they are, right? Even companies who are hiring these days, they're actually checking on, who this person is, and what's her or his reputation is online, right? So if you're targeting for a specific client or a specific type of audience, that's the way to go. Because everybody needs digital marketers. Restaurant owners need digital marketers. Like a vegan business, like Johara, you said, they need digital marketers, right? Hairstylists need digital marketers. People in the cosmetic industry need digital marketers. Influencers need digital marketers. Chefs need digital marketers. Doctors need digital marketers. Teachers need digital marketers, and finally, government also need digital marketers. Everybody needs digital marketing. Like, I really like how Kamagelo explained the case study of, how this company has scaled from South Africa to New York. Right? So the goal for you is, as a digital marketer, is, which industry should I really follow, right? Finding that niche, finding your strength is super important, right? If you're, I've known digital marketers who just focus just on the doctors, okay, just on the doctors. Nowadays, psychiatrist is one of the for sought out profession because of the COVID, mental health, counseling, and all of that. This is super, super important. Everybody talks about it, right? And there are digital marketers who are trying, kind of working with psychiatrists, kind of creating an online presence for them in terms of digital marketing, because these psychiatrists, 1 hour counseling, they charge around $60 to $80 US dollars, right? Which is good money, right? One appointment, Zoom appointment, and they're able to do multiple appointments throughout the day, right? So they're seeking help from digital marketers. It's like, hey, I need to create online presence. I need good business reviews. I need to kind of create online presence. I need to release videos. Okay, I need help. Okay, my industry is, I know I'm good at, reading people like psychiatrists, that's my professional, being a counselor, but I'm not an expert in digital marketing. I need help. What can you do, right? So this is where finding that niche, which industry that you want to focus on, I believe it's very, very important as well, because at the end of the day, it's like you can still serve other customers. You still have to find, it's like, hey, where do I really want to focus? You know, Johara, I think she mentioned a good point, because she has a family member who has already business in the food industry, right? And maybe that's the industry that she needs to pursue, right? You know, you had a good question too, right? So Andre, Vivian, I don't know if you have anything to say. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in one of our conversations, Paul, before, you were mentioning churches too, right? Because churches have budget to actually extend, right? So this is also something nobody, I think, the restrictions in churches are kind of like moving forward as well. So it's like, yeah, I think this is another industry where digital marketers actually come into place, creating videos like we mentioned before, right? Giving value to, and also like still supporting the community, right? I think this is also something I wanted to mention here.
And I would mention real estate, for example. These people got very affected by COVID, and now they just, you know, you cannot just go and show house in person like that. Not as easy, at least. So what they're doing, they are obviously investing a lot in digital marketing in us as people, as professionals, and also they need to come out with ideas such as virtual tour, or, you know, just they're relying on digital marketing a lot these days, just in order for them to market their properties and show them to future buyers, basically. So a lot of industries, basically virtually everything become very digitalized right now. Even I see that, you know, these little shops here in Mexico that are selling tacos or some sandwiches, they're closed. By law, they cannot sell anything inside. So what they do, they have to figure how to register in Uber Eats or other applications like this, and they have to, you know, basically promote themselves in there in order to keep being alive and sell their tacos or sandwiches. So I think almost every business right now got affected, and every business is trying to, as soon as possible, to get into digital and you know, earn their place in there, so they can still be alive and they can continue growing instead of just dying. Because a lot of businesses, they just died because I know there is like a very big shop, a very popular restaurant in city center, and it was just stopped working because by government laws, they're unable to serve anyone inside, and they unfortunately were not serving anything in Uber Eats, for example. It just, you know, prohibited for some reason for them. So they closed yesterday, and something else will open in there. But shops that are went to Uber Eats, because I can see that a lot of them are getting added every day, they're seems like they're thriving.
Maybe another point here. I come from the hotelery industry, and as well them. I think what they're trying to do now is trying to focus more on the local, like on the own country instead of like internationally, because there are a lot of restrictions, right? So I think this is like a super important industry as well, not to forget, because we all want to travel at some point again, right? So I think yeah, the hotel industry is as well super impacted when it comes to like having new visitors of the country and stuff. So I think what the whole COVID situation did as well is that we as people, we actually explore the local area way more than just taking a flight and going somewhere else as well. So.
All right, go ahead. Okay, so let's open up this for more AMA, you know, Johara, Kelly, Raymond, you know, and Comigillo. So what questions do you have for us, you know, specific to digital marketing? You know, how can we, you know, I don't know, based on our experience, we'll share what we know, right? What questions do you have for us?
I'm more interested in knowing about the software that you spoke about, Clubhouse, for podcasts, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I wanted to find out like how does it, you know, help a person's podcast if they're in the podcast business? Like, does it
Sure.
help you to reach more people or more listeners?
So podcast, like the Clubhouse, is more like a voice-over, voice-activated conversation. Basically, you log into this app and you will have followers and all that. You can also create rooms where people can join rooms. What I notice also is people have regular schedules. Like, okay, every Monday I'm going to have a podcast session on the Clubhouse, right? It's pretty cool the way it works, actually. Right? It's a live session. You can just join anytime, and then you can invite people. Have a lot of government agencies are coming on Clubhouse these days. The state and the federal government folks, they're just coming talking about COVID messaging and things like that. A lot of influencers on podcasts. What I also noticed is a couple of people, like a group of people who are experts in a certain industry. They have collaboratively started, more like a podcast, right? It's actually a podcast, but they're like a group of speakers, more like an online conference style, where everybody will get an opportunity to talk, and attendees will attend, and then sometimes what they also do is they actually bring the attendees who are attending, they will bring them to the podium, right? So whoever the moderators, they actually have access where they can actually bring moderators to the podium, and moderators have option to kind of share their whatever, depending on the topic. It's a very interesting concept. For sure, there is a lot of hype. Right? We don't know the analytics in terms of how Clubhouse is helping overall, but definitely there is a lot of hype around this. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome to find out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
does it work in Africa?
I think so. I think
It works anywhere as long as you have iPhone. Unfortunately, they don't support Android as of yet, but I heard that they're working on it. So right now, if you have iPhone, it's gonna work, and you just need to get this invitation from one of the users that are already in there in order for you to register yourself.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Okay, I'll just have to wait for the Android version of it.
yeah. Apparently their servers are very busy right now, so they have a lot of people requesting, and they're overwhelmed right now. So just imagine if they have issues with iPhone people, just imagine if they are open for Android. So there will be another billion people joining.
That's surprising. I feel like they made a lot of money on it. They could have expand their servers and everything basically.
Yeah.
But who knows?
But the thing is, it's a network, right? So basically, it's a network of they actually have people who have registered, who have shared their information, who have shared their phone numbers, right? It's very, very powerful, in terms of the number of people, the data that they have.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Facebook started, right? Facebook is still that application where, hey, it's free, free to sign up, and then everybody signed up for free, and everybody put their pictures in there. Everybody has their email, their preferences, what they like, what they don't like, which group they support, which group they don't support. Now, what happened? Facebook has this crazy amount of data where they can influence. They're actually influencing the governments. Who is going to be the next? Who is going to take over the next government? I have heard a very, very interesting story about. I believe it's somewhere in Africa. I saw this Netflix documentary where politicians also hiring digital marketers, because they want to kind of promote whoever the politicians are. Politicians, if they have a lot of money, They want to kind of spread the word and spread good messages around social media. And obviously that influences a lot, right? So even during the elections here in the US, there was a lot of, stipulation around, Facebook, kind of blocking certain ads and things like that. And very interesting times for sure. And there is a company in the US, in New York, they are specially hired by the politicians all over the world, right? Yeah, they are specifically hired by the politicians all over the world. And then this is what they do. Their specialization is they want to create a brand for that, whoever is running for a president or a prime minister, okay? And they're going to run a focus campaign. And they're actually guaranteeing that, hey, we're going to create this, chances are 90% of the time, that person will win, yeah, that person will win.
I can confirm that by Ukrainian elections. So 2 years ago, there was it's a young guy. He's a comedian. He's nowhere any close to being politician anytime. But he was doing, he was creating a movie where he was impersonating a politician, a president, and then he announced that he actually will become president, and he started to use a lot of Instagram for that. He started to promote himself. He started to talk to a very wide audience in there, talking about, criticizing late current politicians. And he was just using a lot of social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of this were used a lot. And by the end, he obviously won, but also that group of digital marketers, that agency, they become super powerful, and now they are working with other politicians in other countries. So that's why, digital marketing is really powerful for politicians as well, for anyone really, if you think about it.
Great, yeah. It's a very, very interesting time for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right, questions here. AMA, ask me anything. Ask us anything,
I have another question, but it's sort of more if you're looking for employment side of everything. So for digital marketing that has knowledge but not a lot of experience, what would be skills that trump experience that would make people still hire you even though you don't have years and years of digital marketing experience?
Good point. Very good point. Right. What I would see as an employer, as somebody who is looking for, digital marketers all the time, is Kelly. I'm glad you mentioned that. You mentioned about influencers, right? I'm looking for influencers, right? I'm looking for a person who has good followers, who have created a good online presence, right? And it's like, hey, this person really enjoys digital marketing. This person really is a social person online, right? And so I think that will really stand out in the marketplace. You're consistently creating content. You're consistently kind of promoting. It's basically a brand promotion just for yourself, right? You're creating a brand for yourself. Right? You can be very you can be very easily popular in your area, in your city, right? If you actually have a right strategy. And if you have a TikTok, do a video on what you can offer, right? I know Instagram is great. I've known chefs, they put amazing videos on Instagram, the food, and people follow that. Digital art, whatever you're passionate about, right? A doctor can go online and kind of put their information. So for me, I don't think I would rather hire a influencer, right, than somebody who has a lot of experience, right? Because I would rather hire somebody who has no experience but a very big influencer, right? because the digital marketing is very easy to learn, right? Super easy to learn, right? The thing is, you have to have the right mindset. You need to have the right mindset. That's what makes the difference, right? Hope that answers your question. Yeah. So definitely create that online presence as a digital marketer. I recommend you to, go on Hootsuite and just create, whatever content that you're passionate about, put it on your profile, and you do this consistently. Share data about digital marketing, whatever you're passionate about, right? Eventually, I think you will have a lot of followers, right? You'll have a lot of, you will actually see a lot of people contacting you, right? LinkedIn is a great resource. I'm not sure how popular LinkedIn is in South Africa. In a professional industry, LinkedIn is super crazy, right? If you're looking for an audience who are in the restaurant industry, like clients in the restaurant industry, Facebook is super popular. Instagram is super popular. It really depends on what type of industry, who you're targeting and such. Creating this online presence, being online, being active online is super, super, super important as an independent marketer. Johara, you're kind of.
I've got a question. I was just wondering, in terms of managing a marketing project from start to finish, is there some sort of is there a management tool or some sort of software that you would recommend that can,
The question I would ask is, what's the goal? What is the goal? What are you trying to do?
Well, okay, so the reason why I'm asking is because there was a topic that came up for the blog writing exercise, and it was about Agile. And so it was a difficult topic, and I still don't quite understand it, and how it works. Like, the actual management of, a digital marketing project. Like, I know how it works in the construction industry, in an architecture project, how to manage that. So I was just I know MS Project, that's what I've used before. So I was just kind of figuring out, in terms of digital marketing.
Right.
I mean.
Okay. Well, yeah. I know where you're going with this. So basically, the way you start, it's like, let's just say if a small business owner, like your auntie or uncles, reached out, it's like, hey, I have a small business. I want to do digital marketing. Okay, where do I start? Okay. And the first thing that you always do is you need to understand your relatives or auntie and uncle's businesses. Like, hey, what are you trying to do? What is the message? What is the offering? What services are you offering? It's like, oh, well, I create these vegan dishes. These are 100% vegan. My target audience is people who like vegan food, right? Super popular these days, right? And so, okay, so now this is your services, this is your product. Okay, who are your customers? Do you actually have customers right now? Or are you trying to create that customers? The first thing, and then you kind of talk about, okay, so branding strategy. Okay, are you planning to do this at home, or are you planning to open this more like people can just walk in the restaurant? And it's like, okay, if it is a person, if just an individual person running this brand, okay, then there will be two categories. Is it like a personal brand, or are you going to do this as a company, right? It's like, okay, Johara the chef versus Anand Lal Private Limited, something like that, where you're branding like a person or you're branding of a company. And then you get into the details of, okay, I need to think about a branding strategy for us. What is the message? Okay? In my head, I'm thinking, it's like, okay, what is my banner? Like, what is my logo looks like? Okay, for a vegan Okay, I'm thinking green is a good color for my logo. You need to have a logo, for your business. Right? It doesn't matter if it is just one person running the business or a company, you still have to have a logo. And then it's like, let's create a logo, let's create a brand, and then let's create a Facebook page, let's create an Instagram page, okay, and let's create a Pinterest. Okay, now I need to work on a content strategy. Okay, what recipes do you do? Can you take a picture and send it to me every day? Okay, I'm going to consistently post that. Okay, hey, can you come on video sometime so we can talk about your recipes? Can you, like, not just pictures, also can you create video so I can share it? Hashtag, do research, do SEO, and it just can go on and on and on and on. Right? So in no time, in a month or so, you have created an amazing branding strategy for this person. When people look for vegan food in your city, your auntie's business will show up at some point. Right? For that, I would not recommend any paid advertising. It doesn't make sense. Right? You don't want to do paid advertising. You could just do a lot of content through, through organic marketing. Hope that makes sense. Basically, that would be your strategy right there. Okay.
Okay, and then just in terms of like some sort of software to manage your phases of the project. Like I've heard of HubSpot and Salesforce, I can't think of anything else, but those are the two that come to mind when it comes to business.
So before thinking about the tools, you also need to think, okay, is this tool really need? Do we need this tool? Right?
Okay.
For an established business, yes. For a new business, no. You don't need to invest in tools. Right? You don't need to overwhelm your customers with a lot of tools as well, because that's your strength. As a digital marketer, this is what you bring to the table. I'll tell you which tool to use. For now, don't worry. Okay, we need to create a brand for you. Okay. All right. Okay. Raymond, any questions for me?
Yes, there are questions.
Okay.
Personally, I'm interested in content development. I realize it is better to blend it with search engine optimization because websites are involved. And in the course of optimizing your website for visibility, it is important you understand the analytics to be able to read the metrics, interpret them, and use them for the work. So these are my areas of interest. If possible, I would want to go deeper in learning for the purpose of even teaching if the opportunity arises. So what is the career path? How do I go from here? That is the first question I want to ask.
So very good strategy right there. So because I know depending on which country, most of the customers or most of your clientele are not willing to invest dollars in Google Ads, Facebook, and things like that. Okay, that would be their last stop. And creating content online, organically creating content or organically producing the content, that's way to actually create the branding strategy. So Raymond, to answer your question, the question would be basically, what type of content are you trying to create, right? Which industry are you trying to create? There are so many industries, right? Excuse me. So depending on which industry there is, you can write a blog, you can create a graphic using Canva, you can do a video just like this, you can just go on YouTube Live and interview people. Okay, so this is content too, by the way. So this is, this is going to be on our YouTube channel, and this is content, there are so many ways you can create content. You don't need to have like a crazy detail-oriented plan, right, in order for you to create, right? And definitely, Raymond, content marketing is the way to go all the time. That will be your baseline approach. So basically to answer the question in much more detail, you need to actually find the niche. I like when Kamagil said, it's like, hey, entertainment is the industry that he wants to be in. So he's kind of focused there. So it really depends on which industry. All right. Any other questions? I know we're at the top of the hour. So in no time, it's about 1.5 hours. It's kind of, I like small group discussions. There is a lot to talk. Mark. So we've been talking for the last 1.5 hours or so, Vivian, right?
Please, I have a question too.
Yeah, go ahead.
And now we are doing internship with the institute.
Yeah.
And God willing, if we're able to scale through, are there possibilities of going deeper, maybe enroll in another course like specialist or expert level?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure there are opportunities. So we can certainly discuss this, right? So in terms of going to, for sure. All right, one last question. Anybody? One last question before we end this.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So when starting your own marketing company, what would you say you should not do? What's the big no-nos when starting a company?
Good point. Wow, you caught me there. That's a very good question. So what I would do as a digital marketer, when I'm starting my own, okay, don't put there it's like, oh, I can do video editing, I could do SEO, I could do Facebook paid advertising, I could do Google AdWords, I can do all of this, right? Focus on your specialization, right? That's exactly what we did. What we did is like we basically tried to find the strengths of a person and just said, hey, this person can be a content marketer, this person can be a brand marketer, right? When you're opening your agency, first thing is you need to, instead of putting all the different offerings, I would just focus on one niche and just said, hey, I'm the content marketer. Okay, I can create amazing graphics. This is the service I can provide. Okay, another pitch is like, okay, another pitch is like, let me save dollars by, instead of you spending thousands and thousands of dollars on paid marketing on Google. I have a way to save your, try to solve a problem, and also find the niche in terms of, if you're trying to kind of create your own agency, find the niche, right? You need to find who your target audience is. And the reason why I say this is because everybody, with the little amount of experience, little amount of what they know, said, oh, I can do everything, right? I'm sure tomorrow when a client reaches out to you, it's like, oh, I've learned this, and you're going to just overwhelm your client with a lot of information. And I said, hey, you know what? I'll help you. I have a plan in place. Okay. And that's exactly, what I would do as a digital marketer or an agency. Okay. One skill, video editing. I know both of you mentioned this. Video editing is not an easy skill, right? It takes years and years and years of perfection to actually create to be the best video editor, right? And we always look for video editors. I always look for people who have very, very good video editing skills, okay? And we're always willing to pay that top dollar to find the right talent, because video editing is a niche, right? And things like that. So basically, you need to find your strength, and you need to find your, your target industry, and then create a plan for your digital marketing agency. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense, right? I know we're at the top of the hour here. Again, I do want to thank you for, participating in this session. Vivian, you good?
Yes. Yeah. So just one comment to Kelly as well. I completely can relate to you. Digital marketing is so interesting, and there's so many different departments, basically, right? So we just had a session, for example, on audio, and it's like so interesting for me as well to learn, but it's like I have to focus on one thing at a time. And I think when you can focus on one thing and you master it more or less, then I would like start to move on, like have a focus in mind and then go from there. That would be my recommendation as well. Yeah. So going too broad will just distract you and will not give you the focus in every single department. So yeah, go step by step. And I think you mentioned content marketing already, and I see you doing great. So I think it's a good start there.
Maybe you should share affiliate marketing as well. So Vivian, that's something that you do, right? Affiliate marketing is very big. Yeah, very, very big.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, folks. Appreciate your time, right? Have a good one, okay?
Thank you.